What if Earth lost its oxygen for 10 seconds? 10 seconds? That's not that long. But in the grand cosmic timeline, 10 seconds without oxygen is an eternity. Take a deep breath. Feel how satisfying that is. We often take this simple act for granted. Oxygen is essential for everything from the smallest insect to the largest whale. So buckle up as we dive into a scenario that will make you appreciate that next breath even more. Imagine this. The sun is shining brightly and then suddenly the world plunges into darkness. Not the gradual twilight we're used to, but an immediate disorienting blackness. For 10 agonizing seconds, the sky transforms into an abyss, void of color and light. Why? Because those tiny oxygen molecules that make up 21% of our atmosphere are what scatter sunlight, giving the sky its familiar blue hue. Without them, sunlight would pass straight through, leaving behind an eerie, star-speckled void in broad daylight. And that's just the beginning of our problems. While we gaze up at the unsettling darkness above, things are literally falling apart beneath our feet. The Earth's crust, the very ground we walk on, relies on oxygen for its structural integrity. Oxygen is a key ingredient in the chemical compounds that bind together the minerals making up the crust. Without it, the crust becomes as unstable as a house of cards. We're talking earthquakes on a global scale, swallowing cities whole and reshaping continents. But forget about the ground. What about the air itself? Remember that deep breath we took earlier? Well, our atmosphere isn't just about breathing, it's about protection. Specifically, the ozone layer, a shield of oxygen molecules high above us, absorbs most of the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation. Now imagine that shield gone. In those 10 seconds, the sun's energy would bombard the Earth with unfiltered fury. People sunbathing on beaches would experience the equivalent of a lifetime's worth of sun exposure in an instant. We're talking instant severe sunburns, and that's the least of our worries. As the sun scorches the surface, our ears would be subjected to a different kind of torture. Remove the oxygen and the air pressure plummets. It's like being instantly transported to the top of Mount Everest, causing our inner ears to rupture. Imagine the sound of a billion eardrums bursting in unison. Chapter 5. Global Engine Failure. As the world descends into chaos, our technological marvels would grind to a halt. Cars, buses, airplanes, anything with an internal combustion engine rely on oxygen for one crucial process: combustion. Without oxygen, the controlled explosions that power our vehicles would cease. Planes would fall from the sky, cars would sputter and die, and the world would be plunged into an eerie silence, punctuated only by the sounds of collapsing buildings and, well, exploding eardrums. Chapter 6. The Unlikely Welders. Now, for a less catastrophic but equally strange effect. Ever wondered why untreated metals don't just spontaneously fuse together? Thank oxygen for that. Oxygen creates a thin oxide layer on the surface of metals, preventing them from directly bonding. Take away the oxygen, and suddenly any untreated metals in contact would fuse together. Imagine bridges welding themselves to their supports, tools becoming inseparable, and, well, let's just say things would get complicated in a hurry. Chapter 7. Concrete crumbles. Our cities, our monuments, our very civilization, much of it is built on a foundation of concrete. We take it for granted, this ubiquitous mixture of cement, water and aggregates. But guess what plays a crucial role in concrete's strength and durability? You guessed it, oxygen. Oxygen is essential for the chemical reactions that allow concrete to harden and cure. Remove the oxygen and suddenly our concrete jungles turn into concrete dust. Buildings would crumble, bridges would collapse, and our man-made world would be reshaped once again. Outro, a breath of gratitude. Thankfully, this apocalyptic scenario is just a thought experiment. We are utterly dependent on this invisible, odorless gas for our existence. Love and appreciate the gift of oxygen, the lifeblood of our planet. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Look forward for my next video where we explore what will happen if Earth lost all its carbon for 10 seconds.